Hey guys, it's Clayton here. Welcome back to a new video. Today is Tuesday, October 21st of 2025, and I hope you're having a great day. If you don't already know me, and if you can't tell based on the background, I love Depeche Mode. They're my favorite band of all time. They've been my favorite band since I was 16 years old, a sophomore in high school, and I'm 24 now. I'm gonna be 25 next month, so I've been listening to them for a while. My parents kind of raised me listening to 80s music, and in freshman year, and in like May of freshman year, I started listening to 80s music more, and it was like I started listening to like 80s pop radio on Pandora, and I heard lots of like the popular like pop hits, and I remember on there I heard People Are People and Policy of Truth, and that kind of just changed my life. I got really sucked into Depeche Mode, and I remember like by the start of sophomore year of high school, I was listening to Depeche Mode all the time. They were my favorite band, and it was almost like a religious thing. I was just full blown Depeche Mode addict. They will always be my favorite band. I don't listen to them as much as I did back then, but I was crazy about them back then. And I think my yearbook photo in sophomore year has me wearing my Black Celebration shirt. Um, but yeah, freshman, sophomore year, that was a really special time. Like my honeymoon phase of 80s music, and then my honeymoon phase of listening to Depeche Mode is a completely new thing for me. But anyways, I've seen Depeche Mode 6 times at this point in my life. I saw them 5 times back in 2023 on their Memento Mori tour. But in this video, I'm going to be telling you about my very first time seeing them, which was 8 years ago today. My dad and I saw them on Saturday, October 21st of 2017 at Key Arena in Seattle. And Key Arena is actually called Climate Pledge Arena now, but back then it was Key Arena. We were in row 17 on the floor, and seats 13 and 14. And I haven't worn this jacket in a while, but I was actually wearing this jacket to the concert, and so that's why I decided to put it on today. When I went to the show, I was wearing my Black Celebration Depeche Mode shirt. Black Celebration is the name of their 1986 album. It's also my favorite Depeche Mode album. Unfortunately, I seem to have lost that shirt a few years ago. But right now, the shirt I'm wearing is my Global Spirit Tour shirt, which I got at that concert. Anyways, it's kind of hot, so I'm going to take off this jacket. But yeah, here's the shirt I got at the concert, got it afterwards, and it's got tour dates and cities on the back. What an amazing concert. That was, seeing them back in 2017 was the third concert I ever went to. And live music was something that was like pretty new to me. And I live like an hour from Seattle, and back then I went to Seattle maybe like once or twice a year with my parents. But now like I go to concerts all the time. I've been to nearly like 300 concerts in my life, and I'm constantly going out to Seattle for concerts. But back then, 8 years ago, it was something new to me, and it's still special now, but I feel like it was probably even more special when it was just new and like sort of like the honeymoon phase of everything, because I was so young. But yeah, like I said, that was their Global Spirit Tour in support of their Spirit album that came out in 2017. I think it was March of 2017. Actually, I have 2 copies of it. Got this one right here, which I convinced my mom to buy for me, but back when we were grocery shopping at Fred Meyer in 2017. And then I've got this copy of the deluxe CD. I bought this like a year or two. I still haven't unwrapped it yet because, I don't know, I think it's kind of special having the CD that's like still in its wrapping. I'm waiting for my moment to open it. I don't know, I think it'll be cool to open a new Depeche Mode thing for the first time. But this one has 2 CDs, and the second one is it's got remixes. There's like a little booklet in here too. But I'm pretty sure tickets for this tour went on sale prior to the release of Spirit. So also we got the tickets on my mom's Ticketmaster account. And I think we had the tickets for like 6 to 7 months before the concert even took place. So I was excited. I was anticipating it for quite a while. I was in sophomore year when we got the tickets, and I was a junior in high school when I finally got to see the concert. The opener for the show was War Paint, and I haven't really listened to them much since then, but they put on a good show. Based on the timestamps I have on photos I got prior to the concert, pretty sure my dad and I were in line like around 6, and we were like one of the first people in line, at least at that entrance to the venue. There's probably multiple entrances to get inside. We had dinner at Seattle Center. I can't remember exactly where we parked, but I remember walking up. It was just a whole new experience for me, like seeing Space Needle really close, and we got dinner at Seattle Center, and then just it was a really close walk from there to Key Arena. And we were waiting in line for maybe a half an hour, maybe less, before doors open. And I remember in front of me, maybe it was right behind or in front, there was a girl next to me named Angel, and she was younger too. Maybe she was in her 20s, but we talked about Depeche Mode for a bit, and I had told her how I had started collecting like Depeche Mode 12-inch remixes, like their extended remixes on vinyl. And I was like really into that. And actually, the first Depeche Mode 12-inch remix I ever got was Master and Servant, their Slavery Whip mix, and amazing remix. I've got my Depeche Mode collection is massive, and I'll have to make another video eventually showing off all of my collection. But yeah, we talked about that, and she told me that she'd been collecting Depeche Mode tour books, like their programs, and I'd never met anyone before who was doing that, so that was like really cool to hear about. I've already said that at this concert I got this shirt. I think my dad bought it for me, but I also ended up getting their tour book for that tour, their program, so I'll show you that too. And I still have the Global Spirit Tour bag that I got for it at the merch table. Here is the Global Spirit Tour book. I'll open it up for you, flip through it. Here's some of the screen, like stage visuals for the song Cover Me, which they played at the concert. Martin Gore. We got Andy, Martin, and Dave. Dave Gahan, lead singer. Andrew Fletcher. Here's it's from the music video for Where's the Revolution, their first single from their Spirit album. All right. Anyways, yeah, it was an amazing concert, and I gotta be totally honest, it seems kind of silly to think about now, but back then I thought maybe I'll meet the one. Maybe I'll meet a girl around my age. I can get a girlfriend at this concert, meet someone who likes 80s music how I like it, and meet someone who loves Depeche Mode, because that'd be like the perfect scenario. But it didn't end up meeting anyone at the show. I probably talked to some people who are a lot older than me, because Depeche Mode's been around since the 80s. Their first album, Speak and Spell, came out in 1981. So I'm definitely on the younger side of their fan base. So the people I did get to meet at the show were probably in like their 40s or 50s at the time. And actually a little bit before the concert, in like August and September of 2017, I was working at a restaurant in Enumclaw called Kelly's Mercantile. And after Warpaint had finished their set, I ran into Kelly, who owned Kelly's Mercantile, and unfortunately that restaurant isn't around anymore. But it was really cool seeing her, because it was cool when I was working there and finding out that she also loved Depeche Mode, and so that was really cool to see her at the concert. And I remember there was someone around us. Maybe they're in the row behind me and my dad, but we were talking to them, and they said they were doing like the Depeche Mode like trifecta or something. It was something like that. I didn't really know what that meant, but apparently he did. He saw them on that tour, 3 spots in Seattle, Portland, and Vancouver, BC. So the 3 like spots on the tour, they're like really close to each other. And I also ended up doing that when I saw them in 2023. Because when I saw them in 2023, in order of the times I saw them on that tour was Chicago, and I think it was April 5th or 6th of 2023. And the second time I saw them on that tour was in Boston in Row 1 on Halloween. And then November 24th in Vancouver, BC, November 26th in Seattle, and then on my birthday in November 28th in Portland. Anyways, I'm not really here to talk about seeing them on their Memento Mori tour, but just an amazing time. I'm going to try to talk about some of the experiences just like based off of memories right here, and then I do have the set list written down, and I'll talk about, like, read off the songs from there, but kind of out of order. But I think the last song they played before their encore was Never Let Me Down Again, and it was really cool because with that song, before the end of the song, Dave Gahan had a t-shirt cannon, and I think he shot 2 t-shirts out of it into the crowd, and so that was like really cool to see. They had like a little catwalk, and for that song and Personal Jesus and a few others, they used that, and we're walking on that. I remember at the beginning of Personal Jesus, Dave's like walking onto the catwalk, and then it's like, reach out and touch faith, and the song starts, and just an amazing time. Yesterday I went through all the videos I got of the show and compiled them all together, uploaded them on my YouTube channel as just one video, and I got footage of most of the show. The only song I didn't get any footage of was Wrong, which is a good song. I like it, and I probably like it more now than I did back then. I think one of the only songs I didn't know at the concert was Corrupt, which Wrong and Corrupt are from their 2009 album, Songs of the Universe. And I didn't know Corrupt before the show, and looking back, I wish I did, because seeing Corrupt live was amazing. I'm glad they played it. I think Global Spirit Tour is possibly their first time playing it, or playing it live. I got about maybe a minute of footage of that, and it was just cool, like at the end of it, when Martin's on the guitar going down, 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 down. When Martin's doing that on guitar, Dave's like doing air guitar, like boom. Yeah, it was cool to see him doing that. Yeah, Enjoy the Silence was amazing. On that tour, they kind of like, their stage set was really cool. There's kind of like a second level to the stage, so they had a screen right here, and then like a second screen, so a screen right here, and a screen up higher. And I don't know if this totally makes sense, but there's like a little platform that Dave would walk up these stairs and be like walking like above the first screen. So I remember that during part of Enjoy the Silence, he was like walking up there, and that was just amazing time. I'm gonna grab this sheet of paper that has the set list written on it, and with writing probably only I can read because it's not the best handwriting. But before their show even started, there was Revolution playing by the Beatles, so it was kind of like the beginning of the show. Once that song finished, it went into the intro, which was like an instrumental intro, kind of had part of like a remix of Cover Me, which is from their Spirit album. And then that instrumental intro, actually while that was playing, there's some visuals on the screen of just like these like white boots, just like walking, taking steps. And at the end of the intro, that visual faded out, and then there's like these really colorful visuals, kind of like splattered paint, And it was really cool when that intro was playing, seeing some of the band members like one by one walk out, like Martin Gore, Peter Gardino, Andrew Fletcher, Christian Eigner, and the last one to walk out is Dave Gahan. And then when their intro ended, Going Backwards started, which is the first track on their Spirit album. I think after Going Backwards started, Dave walks out. Going Backwards was really cool to see. To be honest, my first time I listened to Spirit, I was like not really into the album. I was like, at the time, like I love all their stuff now, but I was like definitely more centered in on their 80s releases. And this album was just very different for me. Just, it felt not the greatest. I feel like lots of people like to hate on their Spirit album now, like on some Depeche Mode fan groups I'm part of on Facebook. But I can appreciate it now. But the first song that really popped out to me on the album was Poison Heart. And I love that one. And then I think after that one, there's So Much Love. And they ended up playing both of those songs at this concert. In fact, So Much Love was actually the second song they played. Had really cool visuals like behind them while they were playing. And just like a video of Dave and Martin and Andrew just standing there together. And in the video, Martin's got a guitar. And they're just standing. It's a black and white video, and like Dave's singing, and kind of hard to describe it, but it was really cool. It was really cool to see them play that. It's a great song. The third song they played was Barrel of a Gun from their 1997 Ultra album.
Well, thank you very much. Good evening, Seattle.
And really cool to hear them play that. And they ended that, or I guess, well, it's like the intro's going like, and then like the bass is like do 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 do. Like during that bass, it's like Dave's just walking like that. I don't know, kind of maybe think of like a bit like a zombie almost. But at the end of that song, they end it with a snippet of The Message by Grandmaster Flash. And Dave's like ending it with like, don't push me cause I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head. And that's how it ends. And then Dave's kind of standing there looking pretty cool and just like looks at the crowd. He's like brushing off his shoulder. I think it looked pretty cool. And that was the third song, Barrel of a Gun. And great to see that one. The fourth song they played was A Pain That I'm Used To, and they played one of the remix versions. I think they started playing this version of it in 2013 and 2014 for their Delta Machine tour. I can't remember exactly what that version of the remix is called, but I love it, and not everyone does. But I think it sounds super cool. It's got Peter Gardino playing a really cool bass part. It's like do 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 do, and just the energy in that song was amazing. I thought the visuals looked really cool, and it's just like video, like a live video of the band in that moment being played behind them, and just so amazing to see that. Amazing song. I love the album version of that song too, from Playing the Angel. Pretty sure the album came out in 2005, but if I had to compare, I'd probably prefer this live remix version over the album version. And it's really cool. Both versions have the really cool start to like the if you don't know Depeche Mode, if you're not familiar with this music, I probably sound like really dorky doing that. Anyways, After Paying Them Used To, they did Corrupt, the 5th track on their set list. And I already kind of talked about that a little bit. Didn't really know that one prior to the show, but seeing that live was just really cool experience. Like, I wish I would have known it before the show, but also to be going to see Depeche Mode and be hearing a song, like I'd probably heard that song before, but to be kind of experiencing it in a new way for the first time live, like I wish I could have heard that, like known that song prior to the show, but I'm also kind of glad that I had that experience for the first time. I don't know if that makes sense, but I don't know. Great song, amazing experience. After Corrupt, they did In Your Room, and they did the album version from Songs of Faith and Devotion, their 1993 album. By the way, my favorite era of them, my favorite tour, is the Devotional Tour. I've got that DVD over here. By the way, these are all my Depeche Mode cassette tapes. These are all Depeche Mode DVDs, singles collections. All this is Depeche Mode over here. Bunch of CDs. And then I got lots of Depeche Mode vinyl in a different area of my room. But anyways, yeah, 6th track on their set list was In Your Room, album version, and it was so good. And in the background, they had these a video playing of these people like just dancing with the song playing. And near the end of that song, Dave was humping his mic stand. I think that's a way to put it. And he's got some interesting moves that he does, and he did that. Unfortunately, I don't think I got to see Dave or do his like regular like his classic spin like he does for Strange Love and A Question of Time. But during In Your Room, he did. He's kind of holding it like this, and he was like kind of spinning around a little bit, but not like the same kind of speed, or not like the same kind of spin that he does for Strange Love and A Question of Time. If you're a Depeche Mode fan, you for sure know what I'm talking about. That spin is iconic. After In Your Room, they did World in My Eyes, which had a really interesting intro. I'm pretty sure that was like the first time doing that version of the song with that intro. And it's like, me doing that is not going to help you understand what it sounded like at all. But it's really cool. I think he may have shouted out Andrew Fletcher, because I think I've heard that World in My Eyes was Andy's favorite song by Depeche Mode. But yeah, great to see them do that. And there's another part where, like in World in My Eyes, Dave was like clutching his crotch, like he's holding on to it, and he's like that's all there is. Like, I don't know, like he's going along with the song, and he's like shouting into the crowd, like, you know, that's all. Like, I don't know, but there's some parts I look back and it's like a little bit cringy, but it's like Depeche Mode core. It's Dave. It's what he does. If I was there with someone who wasn't into Depeche Mode or didn't know about them, probably be kind of awkward for that. But anyways, the 8th song they played was Cover Me from their Spirit album, and that was really cool to hear live. I got like full recordings of most of the songs, but for that one I just got like a clip of the end of it, and it was really cool. That's another song where Dave was on the catwalk, and at the end of it, like near the end of the song, he's walking onto the to the end of the catwalk, and he's like crouched down and just like, I think he's like holding hands with like a few different people, and he gets up, and like there's this really just like epic part of the outro, and Dave's like just going like that, and it just, he's totally one with the music, and it was amazing. I'm probably going to be throwing in some videos from the concert in here, maybe playing some audio in the background. So maybe I'll throw in that part right here. The 9th song they played was A Question of Lust. So after Cover Me, they did 2 Martin Gore songs where Martin Gore was singing lead vocals and Dave took a break. So 9th track was A Question of Lust. They did an acoustic version of that, and that one was good. Wasn't like one of my highlights of the concert, but it was really cool to see that. So it was just Martin Gore singing, and then Peter Gordino on the keyboards, on the piano. After that one, they did Home, which was just amazing. Home is great. Afterward, like, it's cool in the end to see Martin Gore doing his like little guitar solo for that, and then at the end he's like running around the stage, kind of like a conductor, and everyone, like the crowd's like, and yeah, Martin's kind of conducting the crowd, and it was cool. He looked happy while he's doing it, and yeah, Home from their 1997 album Ultra. The Question of Lust was from 1986 album Black Celebration. After Home, their 11th track was Poison Heart, and like I was saying earlier, first time I listened to Spirit, that's the first track that really stuck out to me, so it's cool to hear that one live. Great song, and I loved it. After Poison Heart, track 12 was Where's the Revolution, which was the first single from their Spirit album. I think it was like maybe their only single, and then like after the release of it, they did some remix singles of like Cover Me, and then there may have been a different song too. Where's the Revolution was really cool, and that's another song where Dave kind of went on the second level of the stage where he's kind of standing above the first lower screen. Great performance. Track 13, or the 13th song on their set list, was Wrong from their 2009 Sounds of the Universe album. And Wrong was great. It's the only song I didn't get footage of, but from what I can remember, the visuals were pretty interesting. It was kind of like black and white, and it's oh man, I really don't know how to describe it. And if you want to know what it looked like, you just have to look it up on YouTube. But it was really kind of like a glitchy visual. I don't know, you kind of like make out the shapes of the, like, the visuals behind them was like live footage of them from that moment just being like projected onto the screen, but it was like a really glitchy visual, just black and white. And I mean, I would maybe compare it to, like, this is not even close, but maybe like to like the waves on the Unknown Pleasures Joy Division album cover. But great to hear them do Wrong. They did kind of like an extended intro of that too. And the 14th track was Everything Counts. That was an amazing version they played. I'm pretty sure for the Memento Mori tour, they played the same version, like same remix version of the song, but the visuals for the Global Spirit tour, like the lights, I preferred that over the Memento Mori tour. But like the lighting of that performance at Key Arena, just amazing. It was a really, like, I thought like the intro was pretty epic. It was awesome. But yeah, Everything Counts was great. After that, and I'll probably say this for most songs like the album it came from, but Everything Counts is from their Construction Time album, released in 1983, their third album. After that, the 15th song they played was Stripped from their 1986 album Black Celebration. One of my favorite songs, and remember at the time, it was like really one of my core songs I loved by Depeche Mode, like one of my favorites of theirs. And so great to hear that live. Like to be seeing Depeche Mode live for the first time, just like amazing experience. Like I probably can't even imagine or feel exactly how much it meant to me back then, but just trying to think of it, it was amazing. After Stripped, their 16th song they played was Enjoy the Silence from their 1990 album Violator. But got that album right here. That was the second album I ever bought of theirs on vinyl. And actually, I'll show you the first album I ever bought of Depeche Mode on vinyl was Some Great Reward. And when I was getting into Depeche Mode, this was the first album that was my favorite of theirs. And then at this point, currently, for the last few years, Black Celebration has been my favorite Depeche Mode album, but it can like vary from time to time, like depending on like what song I'm really into, or like sometimes I'll be like more into one album than the other. But anyways, 16th song they played was "Enjoy the Silence," and it was amazing. The version they played the version they played this tour was really cool because usually, like every tour they do, Martin has like a different sort of like guitar solo at the end, and it sounded so beautiful. It was amazing. They had like animals on the screen behind them, which is like pretty interesting. But yeah, amazing song. Like as a Depeche Mode fan, young Depeche Mode fan, seeing Enjoy the Silence live in person for the first time, like I'd listen to live versions, I'd watch videos of it live, but seeing it in person, amazing. And then they had the ending part where I think a lot of times Dave does this live where it's like, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Mr. Martin, L, and it's like Gore, and like the whole crowd is just shouting Gore, because like Martin L. Gore is the one of the band members who plays guitar, main songwriter, and also sings on a few songs like Home, Question of Lust, and well, he sang one other song during the encore, which I'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, Enjoy the Silence, amazing. 17th song they played was Never Let Me Down Again, and I didn't get a full video of that song. I just got, I think, like 3 different clips, but I did get like maybe like 10 seconds of like the wave. Really cool to experience that live. But like I was saying earlier, it was so cool when Dave was like using the t-shirt cannon to like shoot 2 different t-shirts into the crowd. It was amazing experience seeing that live. Yeah, I think they played the same version of that as when I saw them on the Memento Mori tour too, but Never Let Me Down Again, like, amazing song. I would definitely recommend it to someone who doesn't know Depeche Mode. It's probably like one of the more well-known Depeche Mode songs. I think a year or 2 ago, there's like the show Last of Us came out on HBO, and I haven't watched it, but I've heard that song was used in the ending of one of the episodes, so that's pretty cool. Anyways, Never Let Me Down Again was the last song they played on their main set, and then they went into the encore. So they had like a break for a few minutes, and I got like maybe 20 seconds of video of just like looking around. Everyone's got like the lights turned on their phones, and the whole like the room is just lit up with like phone lights. It's pretty cool. And then the band comes back on stage, or at least part of the band, because I do Somebody. So I think it was just Peter Gradino on piano/keys and Martin Gore on vocals. So that was like the third and last song where Martin Gore was singing lead vocals. So they began their encore with Somebody from their 1984 album Song Great Award. Amazing album. And that was I was about to say that was probably my favorite song that Martin Gore did of the night, but Home was really great too, but I'd probably say Somebody was my favorite Martin Gore song of the night. After that one, they did Walking in My Shoes from their 1993 album Songs of Faith and Devotion. Amazing song, really cool intro, like the whole do 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 do. It's cool like seeing the different versions of songs they do over time with different tours. But that was a really cool video. Yeah, that was definitely one of my favorite songs they played live that night. And then their 20th song they played of the night was Heroes, a cover of like the David Bowie song. And before the tour there's a video of like the Highline Sessions or something, and so it was kind of like a studio version of a cover of Heroes they did, and I really loved that song. And hearing that cover was actually my introduction to that song, Heroes. I don't think I'd listened to the David Bowie original version before listening to the Depeche Mode version. But back then, I preferred the Depeche Mode cover over the David Bowie version. But now I like them both. I can appreciate the different versions. And there's something really special about the original David Bowie version of Heroes and the emotion he has in it. And I think Dave Gahan does a really great version of that. And I heard that that's actually how he got into the band Depeche Mode, because this is what I've heard, is Depeche Mode was practicing, and back then it was Martin Gore, Andrew Fletcher, and Vince Clarke. And they were practicing in some other room. Dave was singing Heroes by David Bowie, and that's how they found him, and they liked his voice, and that's how Dave ended up joining Depeche Mode. But it's great to hear that cover of Heroes live. The 21st song, second to last, was I Feel You, also from their 1993 album Songs of Faith and Devotion. It's great to hear that live, and super powerful and amazing. And I had watched live videos from that tour of I Feel You before that concert, so I kind of knew there was this thing where it kind of looked like Dave was maybe faking out the crowd almost, or it looks like the song's over, and then Dave has his mic stand and he raises it up, goes boom, and just it's totally in sync with the music and with the drums. And so like I knew that part was coming. And so I think the very first video, like concert clip, where I was like, oh my gosh, I'm really proud of that. Like I think that's awesome. I think I did a great job on that, was from that song of the ending, because I knew that was coming, like Dave with the mic stand going like that. So I knew that was coming, so I kind of followed him. Like when he was raising his mic stand up, I raised my phone up. When he brought his mic stand down, I brought my phone down. So it was like I was totally following Dave with his mic stand, and that's a clip I really liked that I got. That was really cool. Then they ended the concert with Personal Jesus. Great song, amazing song, also from their 1990 album Violator. Great song to end with. I think when I saw them on their Memento Mori tour, they ended with Just Can't Get Enough, but they didn't play Just Can't Get Enough when I saw them on their Global Spirit tour. But yeah, Personal Jesus was amazing. It starts with like the, it's like the breathing. It's like, that is, oh my gosh, I'm probably being like so cringe or dorky right now doing that. But like to someone who doesn't know Depeche Mode, they'd be like, what are you doing? That's weird. But if you like Depeche Mode, you probably know what I'm doing. But yeah, it was so great to hear Personal Jesus live. Amazing song, amazing like live song. That's definitely one of my favorite songs they played the night. Like I think, yeah, they ended up playing 22 songs, and some of my highlights were definitely Personal Jesus, Never Let Me Down Again, Enjoy the Silence, Stripped, Everything Counts. Gosh, that was amazing. Corrupt, A Pain That I'm Used To is definitely like probably my top 5 songs they played that night at least. Oh my gosh, that was 8 years ago today, and it was an amazing time, and it's hard to believe that was actually 8 years ago. But yeah, that was an amazing concert, like third concert of my life. And I don't know if Depeche Mode is gonna end up touring again eventually, or they might release some new music in a few weeks. Actually, I think less than a week. The new Depeche Mode movie M is coming out in theaters. It's documenting some of the shows they played in Mexico. So I'll be definitely seeing that in theaters. and I hear that there's a song in the credits that is unreleased, so it'd be really cool to hear. And so I'm guessing since that one's unreleased, they'll probably be releasing that. And I heard there's 4 songs they recorded when they were recording Memento Mori, and those songs weren't released, so those will probably come out at some point. But I don't know if we're gonna get a new Depeche Mode studio album. That would be great, but I mean, I didn't even expect a new like Memento Mori or that tour, because I think it was May 26th of 2022 when Andrew Fletcher passed away, one of the founding members. And that day when I found out about that, it was a really tough day for me. I was crying a lot because I just couldn't believe it. Like, one of the members of my favorite band died, and that was awful. Yeah, this one is Andrew Fletcher right here. But yeah, just a amazing concert, one of the highlights of my life. Eventually I'll probably make another video just going over my entire Depeche Mode collection. That would take forever to do because I have so much. But yeah. Also, right there, I forgot to say, I bought this at the concert too. Is the tour poster. For at least that leg of the tour, because they ended up adding some dates for 2018 also. And then it doesn't have any of the European dates on here either. I think I got that before the concert started. But anyways, thank you for watching. Yeah, I love Depeche Mode. Here's your reminder to go listen to Depeche Mode today. Anyways, thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Bye. See you later. But I actually brought all my Depeche Mode stuff out. I guess, I wasn't planning on showing you guys, but I just wanted to see it all in one yesterday. But I'll show you guys. So, I got my Violator and Some Great Reward records, vinyl. And also on Monday, I was hanging out with my grandma. We went to a thrift store and an antique store, and they had this whole record section. There's it took me 20 minutes to look through, just to skim through all the records. But I found 7 Depeche Mode cassette tapes. Now, I didn't have a cassette tape player before. I was like, oh my gosh, I need to get these. Because all the cassettes, I got 7. I'll read them in a sec. And those are $16. And then next door, I found a Walkman. So, pretty fun stuff. I got the Live 101 album, Songs of Faith and Devotion. There's, I'm not sure, To People Are People, just different songs. I'm not sure exactly what it's called. Got Violator. I got Some Great Reward. And I got Construction Time Again. I got, I already had this, Catching Up with Depeche Mode. But also I found there was World in My Eyes single last Friday. On the same day I got the shirt. We got this at Fred Meyer, Spirit. It's pretty awesome. The album. I like Depeche Mode, but that album is definitely not my favorite. It's not that good to me, but I like the album. And for Christmas, I think I already showed you guys this in my last vlog, but I got the singles collection. video singles collection. Anyways, that's all my Depeche Mode collection. And February, I think that's when I bought the tickets, or March. Me and my dad got tickets to go see Depeche Mode when they come here on October 21st and Kirina in Seattle. So I'm super excited to see them. There's my Depeche Mode wall. I guess I'm showing you all my, but I guess I just showed you all my Depeche Mode stuff.